Hello, beautiful people. We are here on a Wednesday morning for me, but I know it's late afternoon in South Africa. And today we are having a wonderful, beautiful mom who is going to also a business entrepreneur. And she just came back from a safari. And I just love it. And her name is Jill, but I'm not going to be talking about her. She's going to be telling all us everything that she has been doing, including the safari, and uh, and how did she manages to be such a great mom and having such a great business. Okay, so without any delay, Jill, welcome to the Hey Mom, what's your business?
Thank you so much, Gabby. I'm so thrilled to be here. So my name is Jill. I live on the eastern seaboard in Southern Africa, in a little coastal town called Durban. We are very fortunate to live in a conservancy. I'm married to Ernest, and I have two man children and a man-child team. And my eldest son is getting married in September, so it's a very exciting year for us. It's a very, very exciting year. So we are gaining our first princess. So it is super exciting year. And my middle son, Josh, is in the process of leaving home. So I'm almost an empty nester with his amazing girlfriend. And so actually I have two princesses, which is brilliant. So it evens out the testosterone, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I only have kiddos. I only have girls, so I don't have no testosterone around here.
No, it's crazy. It's crazy. And they're busy. But it's good. I'm the owner of two businesses. I'm the
Oh,
owner of Executive Assistant, which
okay.
is a VA business that serves coaches,
Okay.
female entrepreneurs and coaches, heart-centered female entrepreneurs, I should say, because I'm very, very passionate about that. And then the business that I'm actually here to discuss with you guys tonight is called Fearlessly Flamboyant. And
Mhm.
it is exactly that. It's about taking a leap of faith. Let's say that, taking a leap of faith and starting your own virtual services business using the skills you've got. So I stepped into the coaching world. And so I kind of balance both sides of the coin, I suppose. I
Okay.
and I coach. So yeah.
Okay. But you're doing everything, Jill. You're doing absolutely everything. You first started with a VA for coaches, and now you are a coach yourself, helping others to become VAs. So it's a full, like an entire full
Mm,
circle. Okay.
yep.
Tell me, how did you start your first business and what led you to it?
Okay. So about 5 years ago,
Mhm.
I have been in the executive PA role for about, I don't know, 25 or 30 years.
Oh dear.
Uh, yeah, yeah. And at that stage, I was working for head of a private school.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, my children went to the same school where I worked because that made life a little bit
That's
easier.
easier, yeah.
Um, and and it was one day quite late in the year, and my youngest son at that stage, who was 13, 14, so he was very old, came to me and said, "Mom, it's getting dark outside. Do you think we can go home?"
Mm.
I realized on that day that I had all this energy that I'd spent on other mothers' children. And by
Mm.
the time I got home, I had no energy left for me or my children. I just didn't have it anymore. I was exhausted.
No, of course.
I chatted with my husband. I saw out the school year. And then I left corporate altogether.
Mhm.
And as I have to say, I ditched the 9 to 5 and I took a break for a couple of months. I just sat around, not sat around, I was very much a mom and a wife, but I kind of was trying to figure out what I was doing, what I wanted to do. I knew I didn't want to be a full-time stay-at-home mom. I have huge respect for those women, but it is not for me. My children were older,
Mhm.
they had
Yeah.
things going on. So I needed something also to keep my brain going. And then I stumbled across this word on the internet that said virtual assistant. And I looked at it and I thought, well, I have those skills. So maybe this is the answer. And it turned out to be the answer for me. It was a long journey. It was a hard journey because I spent thousands of dollars on courses trying to figure out how to do this. but the courses that I landed up being on only gave you this much.
Oh, we know those. Like they hook you
And
with
so,
the start, and then if you really want the good stuff to actually make a business, then you have to pay the extra super high price, and you're like, hey,
yep,
that's not what I
yep,
signed up for.
nope. And you know, the reality is when you're starting a business, let's face it, you don't have thousands and thousands of dollars to spend. I mean, you're trying to get your own business up and growing.
Yeah.
And also I needed to continue to contribute to my household income. You know, I needed to bring my end. We had children in private school at that stage. Yeah, and but I was determined to find a way to make it work. So not
Mhm.
only doing the courses, I spent hours trolling the internet
Mhm.
to figure it out. Yeah, it was a lot of hard work.
Yes, because there's a moment that yes, your partner, your spouse is supporting you on your path to that entrepreneurship, but finances are finances. There's a moment that says, okay, how much more can we live like this without an extra income, especially if you have private kids in private school or any other need that you need to put that additional income. So how much and you spend a lot of time and effort and doing that. So successfully, because I've looked at your website, you flip it around and you went to this wonderful VA assistant job, or you set it up a business by yourself. What did you do? What did you choose to do?
No, 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 no. I started my own business. I didn't
Okay.
want to work for anybody. I
Okay.
wanted to myself. I wanted to have the freedom of being able to decide if I was going to sit on the side of the soccer field
Mm-hmm.
or in a play, or you know, I could schedule. I like to say that I started to schedule work around my life rather than life around my work. So I didn't have to ask anybody if I could have 2 or 3 days out off in the school holidays to do something fun with my kids. I could just do it.
Okay. So what does a BA in do? Because then it's not a job. You're like a consultant and you have different clients and you're serving them. So what did you do
Yeah,
in there?
yeah. So I didn't in the very beginning because I wasn't really sure what I was doing. I was like a very general VA. So it was like having a secretary, but I
Mhm.
sat in my office and you sat in your office and we communicated virtually and I got the job done for you. But
Okay.
I there was quite a few things in that world that I don't really enjoy doing. And if I was going to be my own boss, why should I be doing that? I should be doing what I want to do, right? I
Yeah.
should be doing the tasks that I really love. So I taught myself Canva. I
Okay.
figured out I really, really love creating and you know, I like to write.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of fell into I niched right down and then I started to offer executive services. So coaches who needed executive help, um, insofar as I can help them onboard their clients, I can manage their digital environment, manage their online community. I help when they do their masterminds. I do all that kind of thing, but all at an executive level. So I'm serving the coaches who are offering courses and need somebody in the room who is technically savvy and can make sure that they don't drop the ball by missing a question, or somebody needs some help or some extra help. I can go offline and help them. I can do their social media, write newsletters, all
So
that
you
kind of
are the brains behind the recording, that they are putting all the content, and the master coach is like, oh yes, and by the way, you're the one who's passing the little cards like in the old days, like, hey, you're missing this question.
thing.
Wow, you're
Yep. Yep. So I did a very I made it quite that I work at an executive level. So yeah. So with that business. But then in January last year, actually by my own coach, because I obviously had a business coach,
Mm-hmm.
um by this stage, like when I started to niche, I realized that I needed somebody in the background helping me with strategy and how to shift and move into the world that I wanted to be in. she said to me, she thinks that there's such a big need for women out there who are trying to find a way to ditch the 9 to 5, leave corporate,
Yes.
be at home with their children, not have a nanny tell them, oh, your baby took its first steps today, and not have somebody say to them, oh, your child was amazing at the soccer match. I'm so sorry you weren't there. Or your ballerina was just too gorgeous in the recital. Those moms want to be there. I understood that because I was her a couple of years ago. So I understood that. And my business coach literally said to me, Joel, take what you've learned over the years, the thing that worked, and put together a course that helps women launch their business. You're not going to run their business. They have to run their business, but you're going to give them the tools and the foundations, and you're going to help them build the foundation blocks so that they can launch and run a successful business, kind of having the tools at their hands. They're not going to have to go and figure it out. And you are so passionate about giving all the information, not just this little piece of information, that women will certainly learn from you. And that is my heart. My heart is to help other women rise. That is really what it is.
Amazing. So you are literally giving them all your experience that you already went there. You already have those challenges, try and figure it out, and you are saying, hey, this is what my mistakes were and how I figured it out. Of course, everybody has like their own environment, but you are giving them a platform, the foundation to say, you don't need to waste X amount of thousands of dollars or time sometimes and trying to figure out how to put your business out there. So that I think that's wonderful. That is a part of this supporting other women, other moms who also want to ditch the 9 to 5, or maybe they want to ditch the 100% stay-at-home mom because finance and world expensive.
Definitely.
It's like I love being a stay-at-home mom, but I also need money, and my partner doesn't have more money, and I really want to go to a safari, for example. And how can I do this, right? So you are giving them the tools to actually be successful. Can you tell us a little bit more about what your business is about? Fiercely flamboyant, right? Yeah. What did you
Yes.
with that moment, with that name? That's beautiful.
Flamingos make my heart smile.
I
like everything about a flamingo. Yeah, I should have turned it on. It glows. It's luminous pink. My son's bought my birthday. Yeah. Flamingos make my heart smile. And the collective noun for flamingo is flamboyant.
Oh.
Yep.
You didn't know that. You learn everything, something new every day.
Yeah. And I sat down and I thought, okay, if you're going to ditch the 9 to 5, what does that actually mean? Like how are you going to feel? What do you have to think about when you're doing it, kind of thing? And I realized that it's actually a fearless leap of faith, because you just have to step. You have to step. Obviously, there's things in place, but part of it is saying, I'm going to take this chance on me. I'm going to bet on me, and I'm going to give it a go. And yeah, sure. There's days when you wonder, honestly and truly, what on earth you have done. It would have been better to just stay where you were. But I thought there's a part of being an entrepreneur that makes you almost fearless, because you have to make decisions at a click of a finger. You don't always have the time to weigh the pros and cons. You don't always have the time to think about it. You just have to step. And part of that is being fearless and just taking a step. And for me, the flamboyance is just, women are gorgeous. They are amazing. They are these collective of amazing women. And I thought, well, there we go. That's how I landed there.
That's perfect. I love it. I love it. Now we're all flamboyant and literally leaping off with all these hopes and dreams, looking for someone to lead us in this success. And I'm so happy that we met each other on the entrepreneur group on Facebook. groups are amazing. I love those. And
Yep.
you meet very interesting people, and I'm very grateful that we
Mm.
crossed paths and we are doing this
Mm.
together.
Mm.
And I really want to know a little bit more about how do you manage your two businesses now and your family? How do you do that?
So I'm very, very passionate again about automating my private life.
Okay.
And I know that probably for a lot of people, like when I first say that, even when I said it to my sisters-in-law, they're kind of like, what are you talking about? Like, what do you mean you automate your private life? So I said, well, I try and do as much as I possibly can ahead of time and schedule as much as I possibly can on automation as possibly can. So I'll give you an example. I have my nails done because I'm a hand talker.
Mm-hmm.
So my nail appointment is booked until February next year. They're just scheduled. I know they're scheduled. My nail technician knows they're scheduled. My family knows they're scheduled. It just happens. It's the day of the month that is for me, and it just happens.
Rain
I
or
get
shine, you're there. Rain or shine, you're there.
definitely.
Mm.
I have my water delivered to my home once a month. They arrive with all the water bottles, they deliver them, the gas gets delivered. I don't do any of that. I don't go out and fetch any of that. So when I talk about automating your life, your personal life, it's how can you make your life simpler?
Okay.
Because the reality is when you become an entrepreneur and you've got all these balls in the air, let's face it, and there's a million, you still got to be a mom, you still got to be a partner, you still got to be whatever you're being, and you're business, and you've got to serve your clients, and you still got to be the cook in the kitchen and the nurse and all the other things that we do on automation. So I realized that I figured out that if I had to get in my car and go and fetch my son from school and wait in the parking lot while he dawdled up to the car and then drive back home and then be distracted and sort him out and fiddle and faff. And by the time I got that round trip of 14 kilometers, which is not very far, it's 7 miles. Round trip is 7 miles. It's not far. That round trip was taking me 2 hours. So when I costing, just by the time I've shut my laptop down, go get in the car, go to him, wait for him, come home, sort out everything it was roughly I was 2 hours. And then I costed my charge out rate. And I realized that it was actually more cost effective for me to get a driver for him. So he's in a car. So he's carpooled. Somebody to collect him. And they work with his schedule. So his schedule changes every day and they work with him, no problem. So that's another thing you can do. And then when I go into launch mode, so when I'm in launch mode at the moment for my course, I do a lot of pre-prepping my meals, or I buy meals in because I'm busy. I don't have the time. So I try to make my life as simple as possible.
And you don't have pets? Do you have pets?
Yes, I've got 2 dogs and a baby cockatiel who's hand reared. So yes.
You don't have to take care of those too. Oh dear.
Yes. It's a busy life. But it's good. It really is good. And this is one of the things I teach in my course is how to help women figure out what they can actually do ahead of time, and that they are not necessarily having the ones that have to do it. There are ways.
You don't add value, for example, for grocery shopping. And I want to now remind me, I interview another tech entrepreneur, and she said, I don't do groceries. Everything is delivered to my home because it takes me 3 hours just to go, because I want to buy everything and I want to eat everything and sample everything and be just being there. And she's not productive. I said, those 3 hours, I can put them somewhere else. And I'm like, okay. And you're saying exactly the same. Grocery shopping or water delivered. It is that you can actually delegate. Those are very simple tasks that will free how much? 2 hours, 3 hours, at least a week.
Well, when I worked it out over the week, it freed up about, on average, anything between 7 and 10 hours a week. That's a lot of billable hours.
Yes, it is. It is.
That's a lot. It's a lot of billable hours. But aside from that, it's also the headspace, because you're in the middle of something. Now the alarm goes, you've got to go and fetch the child. You've lost your train of thought. Mm-hmm. So by the time you come back, you've got to kind of get back into it. Mm-hmm. So it makes sense. I also have a standard delivery that gets delivered weekly. So that's the milk and the bread and tomatoes and whatever. It's a standard delivery. I press go on a Sunday night. It gets delivered on a Monday morning, and that's it. Because it just makes my life easier. It's simpler. And when you cost it out, it's worth it for me to have it delivered, as opposed to getting my car, having to drive, having to walk around the shops, having to leave what I was doing. It's just a better option. So that's a big part of how I managed to keep the balls in the air, I suppose.
That is impressive. Like really streamlined process, time management, automation. I'm so impressed. And I'm just loving it. Tell us a little bit more about your Fiercely Flamboyant. How do you teach them, or what it is about exactly?
So I teach you literally from the start. So you don't even have a business name. You just have the skills. And while we started it as to get women to be able to do VAs, I'm thrilled that one of our first VIP clients has just come through, and she set up a business, a bookkeeping and debt connection business using our model. So, and I've got somebody else busy going through it at the moment who's setting up a travel aligned business. Mm-hmm. So you don't necessarily need to have been a secretary or a PA or anything. It's any skills that you can apply to offer a virtual service.
So they do need to know what are the skills, or you help them through that, because maybe
they've got the skills. So they just
need to know what to do.
So the client that we helped, she was working as a bookkeeper.
Okay.
In business, and she's now left the 9 to 5 and is running her own little virtual bookkeeping company, which is doing everything it needs to do. And she does debt collection for small companies, who sometimes just give up on the debt because it's too hard. Yeah. So our business foundation course is literally that. It's setting up, it's what you would need to do to set up any business. Okay. You've got to have a brand. You've got to figure out who your client is. You've got to have an accounting system in place. You've got to have a way to talk to your clients. You've got to actually know who your clients are. And I teach all of that. I teach you how to figure all of that out. I take you through the steps where we work out who your ideal client is, so that you can do the correct messaging and marketing and what have you, and where it would be better for you to market. So Facebook isn't for everybody. For some people, LinkedIn is better. For some people, Instagram is better. For some people, a combination of Facebook and Instagram works. For some people, YouTube works. So it depends on the type of business that they want to start, and we just work through that. It's a 8-week. Well, we say we can get you up in 60 days. And if you take the VA,
they're going to be up and running. And that
can be up and running.
Of course, anywhere in the world.
Anyway, doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. Doesn't matter. At the moment, we've got 2 clients in South Africa, it just so happens, and we've got a client in America, and we just work with them all. I brought my sister on board when I launched Fearlessly Flamboyant. Yeah. I realized I was teaching, I needed someone to run the back end.
Okay.
And she loves systems and all those things in the background. So she runs the back end of Fearlessly Flamboyant. And she's actually the one who helps you set up your mailing system and helps you set up your customer relationship management, because she loves all of that. Mm-hmm. I can do it. I do it for my clients, but I don't want to do it for my students. I'm happy for her to do it rather.
She's very good at doing that. Amazing,
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
And in all this, I know that there's a lot of competition, and everybody has their own ideal client, and everybody has their own
Mm,
path. Uh,
mm.
and of course, in an entrepreneurship, there's always a moment like, I need to breathe. What am I doing this? Am I doing the right thing? But did you know that self-doubt that sometimes in the night it kicks, right? How do
Mm-hmm.
how do you stay motivated as a mom, as an entrepreneur, and saying, okay, I wish I would have hit the my goal, my monthly goal, this I didn't, but whatever happened, how do you keep
Mm.
yourself motivated?
Um, that's a brilliant question because we all go through that. It's
Yeah.
some days it's like feast and famine. Sometimes it's amazing, and sometimes you wonder what on earth you're doing, and that's the reality. I think for me, I just keep reminding myself as to why I'm actually doing this. I cling to my why. Absolutely, I cling to it. And for me, my why is literally having the freedom to prioritize my family over my profession.
Okay. So look,
Family comes first always.
okay,
Oh,
look deep into your why, and that
yeah,
will sparkle again that motivation. So now you hear it,
correct.
everybody. Look deep into your why. Okay,
Mm.
that's important. And is any way that you, besides your sister, your kids, your husband, you don't they don't involve they are not involved in your business, or they are?
Mm-mm.
That's your
One of the princesses does a little bit of Pinterest for me on the side because she understands it better than me, and
mm-hmm,
also not really something I like. So she does that for us.
mm-hmm.
But it's because she's studying. So
Okay.
it's again, she's female,
Mm-hmm.
and we want to help women rise.
Yeah.
So surrounded the virtually the entire team that work together to help you launch your business. I pull in different specialists, and they are women.
Okay, that's super cool.
I'm working with women
Mm-hmm.
because women understand women. You
Yeah.
know, if I have to say to you, I'm sorry, Gabby, but I can't do it today because actually my child is sick. Women get that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Men don't get that. Men don't get that. They're like, well, give a child a little bit of panado and let them have a nap. Like, why can't we do it? Well, because my child is sick and that's a priority for me. Um, and so the team I've assembled around me and around my sister are women, amazing women, amazing, amazing, amazing women who bring their own
I just love
spark,
it. I just love it so
sparkle.
much.
Yeah, yeah. So they bring their own expertise to the table, help women. We cover everything from mindset. I've got a mindset coach that comes in because mindset is so important when you're running your own business. So she comes in to do a session. I've got somebody who comes in to do a little bit of coaching on copywriting, how to get your messaging right. We kind of cover everything because it's important.
Yeah.
If your mindset isn't right,
Yeah, you were mentioning mindset. What is
yeah.
the most important thing that you have learned about that change of mindset that for your business?
That it is okay to fail. It's okay because you learn, and that not everything has to be perfect all the time. I know there's this saying that says done is better than perfect, and to a degree that I agree with that. To a degree, the other side to it for me is that I will often tell you that I'm imperfectly perfect because I don't get it right every day. I don't get it right every day. Sometimes I get it so horribly wrong. But the difference is that you dust yourself off and
Mm-hmm.
you get and you do it again and you
Okay.
figure out a way around, or you reach out. There are so many amazing women out there who are so willing to say, listen, have you thought about trying it like this? Have you thought about trying that? Have you, I didn't learn, or I didn't get to where I am now without a network of amazing women who were rallying around me, who were saying, listen, we've got you, even though you don't think you've got you. So, fight like this, give it a go. Go into the Facebook groups. As you said, you love them. Go in there, ask for advice. There's plenty of women in there who are so willing to help.
Do you think that women are sometimes not willing to say, hey, I need help because they fear that they're going to look weak?
I think we have, and especially I think perhaps moms and working moms who are desperate to leave because they want to be at home with their children, and they tell their partners that they absolutely can do this. They can. There's no question. They can. And then they stumbling block, and they start to question themselves. They start to wonder whether or not they can really do this. And I think we are harder on ourselves than anybody else will ever be. And I think women tend not to also ask for help because they think that their peers will view them as a failure.
Okay.
We don't compliment each other often enough. We don't say, well done, or we don't say, geez, I love that blouse, or shucks, your hair looks fabulous today. We don't say it.
We say that more in Facebook groups that we are completely anonymous, and we say, yeah, you're rocking, congratulations, everybody. But when you have an inner circle of people who is surrounding you, you're right. It is hard to say it openly, like, hey, you're rocking it. You're such a great mom and entrepreneur, and those heels are, my God, how can you walk on those heels? They're superb. And things like that. You're absolutely right.
I think as women also, we tend to not tell people that we're struggling. We don't ask for help.
No, we don't. It is like, I'm super mom, I can do this by myself, thank you.
Until you are so exhausted that you don't know where to turn, and it's like crisis management, which again is something that I teach in my course, that is really not wise. That is one of the silliest things you can do. Reach out to your network. Get into Facebook groups, get into LinkedIn groups, get into the groups, because while we expect our family to be supportive, and while we expect our closest friends to be supportive, very often they are the ones saying, oh, this is a mistake. Oh, you've taken a big chance. Oh, this isn't for you. Oh, why are you doing this? I don't understand how you're doing this. See, and then you feel like you can't say in that environment, listen, I've had a really bad month because I told you so. I told you not to do it. I told you that this wasn't for you. I told you to stick with your job.
You see what happens now that you were not at home. Like, even if I was at home anyway, it was going to happen. Like, because the child 8 hours outside of my house anyway.
Yeah.
I get it.
So we don't ask for help, which is terrible. We need to ask for help.
Absolutely. What would be, besides asking for help, besides signing up of your course, if for moms that are looking to ditch the 9 to 5 because they already have a skill and they want to be business owners, what would, and take a leap of faith, what would be an advice that a mom which watching us today or listening in the podcast today, and they will say, I want you to hear this because I know you can do it. What would be that advice?
I think the biggest thing is just believe in yourself. You have the skills. You have them. You're already doing it. You're doing it for somebody else. You're already doing it. Now, the difference is you're going to do it for you, and you're going to decide how much you're going to earn, and you're going to decide how many hours you're going to work, and you're going to decide how many months leave a year you want, and you're going to decide what is more important, your child's soccer match or working with somebody you don't really like. You get to decide. But the biggest thing is believe in yourself, because you're already doing it. You're already a rock star. You already are managing your home, managing your career, managing your children, being a friend, being a daughter, being a daughter-in-law, maybe. You're doing it all. You're already doing it.
Yes.
And I think too often we don't believe we can, because we've been told from little
Yes.
that you need to work in corporate. You have to have a job. You have to leave your home and go to a job. That's what this success looks like.
Yes. And that you cannot be ambitious. Ambition is not something that you should be doing. That's not what the good people do. And I remember that this quote from Reese Witherspoon: ambition is not a dirty word. You can actually be ambitious and be a woman. It doesn't matter. You have to be ambitious to be successful, because there's something
100%.
you are looking up to and try to reach those dreams, right?
Yep. And me, it's about helping other women rise and realize their own potential. Maybe you don't want to leave a 9 to 5 right now, but you want to start this on the side and get it growing so that you can, in a couple of months, say, okay, I'm comfortable now to take the step. That's fine. Nobody's saying if you come and do the course with us that you absolutely have to leave 9 to 5 tomorrow. No. But this is
you're going to give them the foundations, and when they're ready, they will be ready to do them by their own turn.
Yeah. But just believe in yourself, because women, you are a rock star. You have this. You can. There's nobody. The only person who's really telling you can't is you.
And that is so the truth. Yeah. Where can I take? Where is everybody wants to? How can they reach you? Tell me.
The best way to find us is to drop us a message either on Instagram or on Facebook at Fearlessly Flamboyant. It's literally one word, Fearlessly Flamboyant.
Okay.
And we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Or you can send me an email at jill@fearlesslyflamboyant.com, or go onto our website, which is www.fearlesslyflamboyant.com, and there is a contact us page there where you can reach out and contact us, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible with any questions. You're welcome to ask any questions. If you're not sure if this business model will work with you, please just book a 30-minute chat with us. Cost you nothing. Just book a chat with us and we can talk it through and see if it is for you. And if it is, we'd love to welcome you into our world.
Absolutely. I love it. And well, now you know, I'm going to put it in the show notes. And thank you, Jill. Has been a pleasure. I'm so grateful that the universe crosses our path, because we are in the same tune and same thing. And now you know, if you are have a 9 to 5, you want to teach it, you already have the skills, and you are having trouble figuring out how to do it, just send an email, a DM to Jill at Fiercely Flamboyant, and she will help you out. She's amazing. She has the greatest energy ever. Okay, my name is Gabby Rendon. Thank you, Jill, again for being with us, and see you next week.
I'm delighted. Thank you.
Well, now you see, you met Jill. She's a wonderful mom, super entrepreneur, 2 businesses, coming back from safari, and I'm so happy to be able to do this to showcase other moms who are having real stories about how they figured it out and how they can help you to figure it out too. Okay, so once again, thank you for being here. And hey, mom, what's your business? Until next week.